What it is, y'all, it's your old boy Pilk, and of course we're coming back with more Uncharted Battlefield. Now, there is a bit of a cautionary tale behind this Uncharted Battlefield, and that is simply that, well, it's broken. Uncharted Battlefield is broken. If you try to run Uncharted Battlefield with any unit that has 3 ability boards unlocked, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, let's go ahead here. I will go ahead and wrap myself out. I haven't messed with the 3rd ability board at all. I'll tell you exactly why you should be and why I haven't, quite frankly. And it comes down to my problems. But let's kind of go down here to the SRs and things like that. So let's grab Mikoto here. Pause. And go to the ability board. Now, I've got probably plenty of bonds. Actually, I don't have enough bonds for her. Oof. I don't even have enough bonds to unlock her ability board 1. So let's try Belle. Let's go out here. I have sold a bunch of these before the ability board thing was even a thing. So it is what it is. Yeah. So I don't even have enough of Belle to do this. But here in ability board 2, you can use the bonds of all these SRs and the SSRs to unlock the ability boards. Okay? Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. And once you get up here into the 3rd ability board, it does not change. You can still use the bonds to unlock this rather than having to use these crazy growth items. Now, this is awesome because that ability board gives you the opportunity to make this, any unit you use, that much harder hitting. But here's the all-encompassing problem. If you go over here into the, the Abyssal Exploration, or I'm sorry, Uncharted Battlefield, if you use any unit here with a 3rd ability board, it will crash the game and mess all kinds of stuff up. Now, the alternative to that is, if you didn't know, you can turn off ability boards. So if you go over here to upgrade, and let's just go down here. I don't have anybody with a 3rd ability board, but I think he's got the most built-out ability board of all my URs. Pretty close. In fact, I could probably go a bit further with him. Still, nevertheless, if you come in here and let's say you have the 3rd ability board, say, for sake of argument, his 3rd ability board's right here. If you have an ability board option that's doing what it's doing, just hit remove. Disables it, and then you can re-equip it at any time. You can literally turn on and off ability boards by clicking this button right here, and it'll work just fine. So if you have a 3rd ability board and you're trying to use an SSR or an SR or something like that, easy peasy. Shut it off. The Uncharted will work just fine. So make sure you guys are paying attention to that, because if you're trying to play Uncharted with an SR or an SSR and you're having issues, that's probably your problem. Now, of course, we have to talk about this. And my first fair warning to you, that's going to be an absolute beast. Battle 12 is not a battle we'll be able to solo. It's really made for the new Allen unit. I dropped a whole video on him earlier. I don't even know if he could solo it. He'd probably have to be MLB to solo it. But nevertheless, that's really who it's built for. Probably the old Artemis will handle Battle 11, even though she is time limited. We can kind of lift the time limit restriction at this point because things are so hard now. It is what it is. But Battle 12, I don't think is one we're going to be able to solo. Per usual, we try to solo these because my whole thing is if I can solo it, you can do it with 3 units. So, but if you have the Vana Freya Allen, you'll probably have a pretty good time at 12. The rest of us are going to be sitting here going. Good news is most of the rewards really end at 10, so that is a thing. Battle 1, though. Let's jump in here. And per usual for Battle 1, we are running SR Bell, SR Hestia, and 0 equipment. And you've now seen how my Bell's built. His ability board, I could do more with it, honestly. I just haven't. Some of that's laziness. Some of this is the only time I use him. So who the heck knows? But do remember, this is an auto battle system. You do not have any say in how this plays out, with the exception that you can modify his targeting system. And we'll cover that here in Battle 2, if I remember. Which, because I have severe ADD, apparently, I will probably forget. But nevertheless, we will try. We've covered it before on many, many, many prior Abyssal explorations. And it's not new. It's not a new addition at all. Bam, go Bell. The nice part is with the targeting setting, essentially you can take your strongest unit and make them target just the strongest foes, and then have all your peons, for lack of a better way, or the pawns, can kind of focus on whoever they need to focus on. There you go. Now, full disclosure, and I'm sure you can already kind of tell, I had to run this 2 times in order for Bell to actually be able to beat the Kobold. Sorry. I'm still getting over my whole thing. That reason we couldn't stream last night. So he handled it. It did take 2 runs for me to get it out the first time, so that is what it is. From this point going forward, I am just going to run URs, and normally we try to do this with non-time limiteds. But with Battle 2, I don't think it matters too much. Now, we could use an SSR. We can use an S. I don't know if you can use an SR. You'd have to equip them pretty good. I like to save all my equips for the end. So my goal is always to build a team that doesn't need equips. But I also dislike this Cassandra very much. I find her way too squishy. I think she got a rebalance recently, and I just haven't noticed a difference. So with her level 60 and with an SSR assist, she'll basically be on the level of a high-end SSR, so to speak. She's got a good attack on her, but man, will she squish, but fast. So personally, I just don't put a lot of value in her. Now, for these first 2 runs, it really, and see, I told you, I forgot to set the auto setting. Completely forgot to set the auto setting. We'll talk about that here in run 3, I hope. So, honestly, normally I would just run this with anybody else, but I mean, it doesn't matter. You can run this with any element. It doesn't favor any element. Your foes will fall pretty much no matter what SSR you throw at them, as long as they're well upgraded. Cassandra, the nice part is she does produce damage. My big issue is if I try to take her in any later battle, she just takes so much damage, she becomes a problem. Even if we're talking about, the very first Earth fight. Like, I don't have faith she can do that at level 60. Maybe level 70, but I never use her outside of this. So this is just another excuse. And honestly, the whole reason I do it is because, number 1, it's a unit that I don't get to use very often. Number 2, I mean, she can do it, I guess. Number 1. Number 1 is my answer. Okay. So we beat that, but any SSR should be able to do that so long as they're like level 80. I don't tend to level 80 my SSRs. I save all that for my URs at the moment. I don't have excess of the items to do that, so we kind of just do what we do there. So battle number 3. Now, this is the first battle where it's type specific, so you do want to use a fire unit here, and as you kind of come down here and see, battle 8 is where we're going to go in and use another fire unit, and I will probably try to stick through battle at least 9, if not 10, probably 9, of using non-time limited units, because the time limited units are going to be just crazy. So, non-time limited, battle number 3, we need a fire unit, and I think there's a no-brainer solution to it, and that is this Bell and this... I have items on him. I highly doubt we needed those items. I literally just auto-ran a Bell that I had sitting around. These last 3 builds are just builds we used the last few times we've done this, so none of these are new. And do remember, you can't rerun a unit. So once I run this Bell, he's out, but honestly, this is the base UR Bell that drops with the event, hence why I'm not running the Hestia with him. I think Hestia is well worth saving for a later battle. Bell can handle this level 70. He's okay. Now, I did say auto setting. Right there, the targeting. He's set to attack priority. If I really wanted to, I could actually set him to strong enemy, and then if you have like a support unit, you can set that support unit to recovery, and then your support unit won't be attacking. Your support unit will then just be healing everybody. So, like, let's say for the sake of argument, I need a healer. Run Harmonia, run Harahime, or someone like that. Set them to recovery. Any pawn, set them to attack. In the case of Bell here, I'm going to set him to strong enemy, and he's only going to focus on foes in front of him. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and just remove these and see if he's able to do it without those scene cards. I don't think those scene cards are a factor, but I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. I might be completely wrong. I might be out of my mind, but It be what it be, y'all. There we go. So he's going to seek out the strongest foe, and he's going to wipe them out. Now, the nice part is any AoE level attack that he unleashes is essentially just going to blast through the weaker foes and target the larger foes. Yeah, he targeted the ants right there for good reason. Okay. So he's kind of like ignoring the moths and taking everyone else out around him. And that's exactly what the strong enemy target is supposed to do. So, handy that. Handy, handy that. Come on, Bell, do your thing, my guy. But that's the basics of Abyssal Exploration. It's not difficult. You just have to be pretty good at team building. Let's see, 2 foes. He's going to focus on that guy. The nice part is, I think, with the strong enemy priority, he probably won't flip-flop between these two. He will... Ooh. I'll be honest, the scene cards made a difference. So if you want to go back and check out the setup I did before, I had him set to just regular enemies, and he wasn't taking excess damage. He would just fight whoever's in front of him. So in this situation, that might be a situation where having him set to attack priority might be a better situation. And that does explain why those different things exist. When we get up to the later fights, we have units that are more tanky and just need to focus on one enemy. Really talking about the baby dragon fights and things like that, then yeah, we'll do that. I did have some SSRC or some SRC cards on him. I think the attack priority will probably handle this, but as you can see here, if we go back in, bam, Uncharted. I've already beaten this with that team you saw before, so I'm not going to run it again. Also, I'm up against the little time crunch. But those are the teams that I used. We'll come back and talk about these 3 coming up here shortly. So make sure you guys subscribe to stay up to date. If you have any other glitches that you happen to notice, drop them in the comment section as always. And I'll see you again real soon for more Uncharted Battlefield, more DanChro in general.